Oh, taste and see. Oh, taste.
Glory to Jesus Christ. My name is Father Volodymyr Zablatsky, and today I welcome you yet to another episode of our online Orthodox Christian cooking show. And today we're going to make fondant potatoes. It has nothing to do with fondant, the kind that you use for cake decorating, but rather it's a way of cooking the potatoes in the liquid. But it has more steps to it. So to make this dish, we need some russet potatoes, and I already peeled them. There is a variety of ways in which you can cut them, but I'm going to try to make more or less similar in size, like little cylinders, like so. There's a little bit of waste in the potatoes, but they more or less they should be the same in thickness. So I think we're going to get about 6 cylinders like that. A little bit taller won't hurt it, and I'd probably use something like that as well, but I'm gonna just set aside these pieces for something else. Or I have chickens. I have a worm farm in my basement, so they're not gonna go to waste. So there we have the cylinders, which we're going to brown in a cast iron skillet. But before we do it, I will make sure that there's not much moisture on the potato. I'm gonna just dab it with a little bit of a paper towel to take that moisture out that comes of the potato when you cut it, when you slice it in half, or even when you peel it. So, there's some pieces I don't like. I'm gonna just take them off because they are a little bit of skin. So now we're going to go to the stove and fry these potatoes. And before we do that, I forgot completely to talk about other ingredients. So we will need some chicken stock, about 3/4 of a cup, or probably I'll use it a little less than that, maybe half a cup. We need some oil for frying and browning the potatoes. It has to be an oil that can stand high temperature, so canola oil. Some people do it in grapeseed oil. I also saw people done it in avocado oil. Those oils can withstand high heat. Salt and pepper to taste. About 4 tablespoons of butter, and a bunch of fresh thyme. So let's go now to the stove and we'll fry the potatoes first before we put them in the oven. So to brown our potatoes, you will need a heavy bottom skillet, or any kind of skillet that you will be able to put in the oven then after you brown the potatoes. And I'm using about 2 to 3 tablespoons of canola oil on the bottom of my pan to brown these potatoes. And I put my skillet to high, the fire under the skillet too high, and I'll give a few seconds for this skillet to warm up and for the oil to warm up before we put them in. So now that our oil is hot, we'll put potatoes in, and you probably lose my voice because my camera microphone competes with the sound of frying all the time. So I'm gonna put these potatoes in. You could probably do a little better job if you don't make them as tall as I made. It's a little bit too tall to what I'm trying to do, but it's gonna work out because it's still gonna go into the oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. So it's gonna. And while your potatoes are frying on one side, you can go ahead and generously season the other side with a kosher salt. Don't be afraid if some of the salt goes into the oil or bottom of the pan. It will eventually be good for the potatoes. Just some freshly ground pepper. Well, it's browning on the other side. After about 6 minutes in the frying pan on high, you will achieve about this color, which is perfect, just perfect for this kind of potato. At this point, you want to turn your heat to medium high, flip your potatoes over on the other side. Once on this side, you want to once again season this side with the salt and freshly ground pepper. At this point, you would like to drain the excess oil from the pan, and I'm kind of using a paper towel to do so. I'm just gonna sneak in and try to drain as much oil out of the pan as I can possibly drain. Oops, that was a little accident, but this should do it. I'm just gonna flip that potato back where I want it, and just space them a little bit around the pan. At this point, you want to put, I have forgotten one ingredient. You want to put about 3 cloves of garlic. You don't have to peel it, just smoosh it like this into the pan. You want to add your butter into the pan as well. And then you want to also add some thyme around your potatoes, and just to make sure that thyme is actually right in the butter, releasing all the oils and giving this wonderful aroma and taste to our potato. And at this point, you want your potato to cook for another few minutes, up until the butter begins to brown. When the foam of the butter that you put in begins to turn golden in color, then you want to add your stock, and then you want to put the potatoes in the oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. It has been about another 6 minutes then since we turned the potatoes over, and the butter has already browned. So I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup of stock to our potatoes now at this time. And we're going to put these potatoes in 425 degrees preheated oven for about 30 minutes. So after about 35 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes, this is what you get. And it looks absolutely wonderful. These all the liquid reduced to almost pretty much nothing, but we're gonna just try, and the knife goes just through, like through a butter. It's a sign that the potato is cooked inside. It really looks nice. This, if you can hear, there's that nice crust on the top. So we're gonna just transfer these potatoes over the plate here, right over here. They look delicious, and I'm positive they are going to be delicious. You can, if you want, you can scoop some of this thyme and just put around the plate. Like so. This side a little bit. And with the rest of this reduced stock and butter, you can just pour over. Well, let's go to the. So after you plate it on the plate, you can just a little bit of this juice and butter and stock pour over all of your potatoes, and that's it. This is one of those episodes that I am not going to even try these potatoes, because we made them last Thanksgiving and they were absolutely delicious, and I can smell it. This is gonna be a repeat of that, so I'm not gonna even taste it. We made some pork as a side, as a main dish with it, and these potatoes pair wonderfully with any kind of meat, being a turkey, being a lamb, beef. Try it at home. It's not that difficult to do. Few extra steps that you will need to do for these potatoes, but they are absolutely delicious. So give us thumbs up on YouTube, share this video with your friends on Facebook, and I'll see you next time.